Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's harmless phosphorescence. Hello, everyone. This is Man Sandwich. Throw Smiley.
Oh, damn it. This is Josh CC, and this isn't even close to what I wanted.
I'm Brian Lesh, and do cats play basketball?
I'm Alaric Weber, and I'm just a girl trying to rescue a cat.
This is Harmless Phosphorescence.
That old fairy tale.
Right. The podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather including this one. We gather some research into the production and the source material, then we tell you about it. I just wanted to mention that one of the best ways to help support us without actually going to our Patreon, patreon.com/harmlessphosphorescence, which you should go to. But if you can't do that and you can't chip in monetarily, then just rate and review us on your podcatcher of choice. It helps other people find us. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you. Now that brings us to this week, wherein we will be watching and discussing, unfortunately, Catwoman.
What the hell is wrong with you, Phillips? Your incompetence is staggering.
All my life, I felt powerless. I've never stood up for myself. But then...
You can come out now, it's okay.
I think maybe I'm in the wrong...
Everything changed. You died, but you were reborn. By accepting all of who you are, you can be free.
She's very self-confident, almost angry.
I'm sorry, what was that? Allergies?
This person doesn't like to play by all the rules.
Amateurs.
Steve says she jumps around like a cat. What should we call her?
Catwoman. You heard of her?
Oh yeah, hot. Black leather. Whip.
You're gonna look like a cop killer.
I might not be a hero, but I'm certainly not a killer.
Put your hands on your head.
Looking back on it now, dying was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Catwoman.
Oh my gosh.
Movie exists.
What the?
Yeah. What the indeed. So Catwoman was released on
as a movie.
that had been made on a particular day. Yes, Catwoman released July 23rd, 2004 with a running time of 104 minutes. It cost $100 million to make. Took in at the box office $82.1 million.
Oh,
wow.
We haven't had one of those in a bit.
It's been a while since something like that we've had has tanked at the box office like that, which means it's time for us to play the box office top 10. This is the game on the show wherein these boys try to guess where Catwoman opened and guess the titles of the other 10 in the box office top 10 for the week of July 23rd through the 29th, 2004, based on the box office mojo descriptions, occasionally edited by me in order to obscure the title of the film. We're just going to go around our virtual table. Josh, where do you think this opened?
7.
Josh thinks it opened at number 7. Brian.
5.
Brian says 5. Al?
I was going to go with 5, so I'll bump it up to 4.
Al says 4. All right, 7, 5, and 4. Now, let's see where we're at. Coming in at number 10. A listless and alienated teenager decides to help his new friend win the class presidency in their small western high school, while he must deal with his bizarre family life back home.
Napoleon Dynamite?
Yes! 17 points for Brian.
I still haven't seen that movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a movie, man.
Get through it.
Wow,
I couldn't do it.
You're like a white tiger. Good for you. Don't see
There wasn't enough music in it.
it.
It made me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, for sure. It was an uncomfortable movie. Coming in at number 9. A group of misfits enter a tournament in order to save their cherished local gym.
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball. In the Italian. Yes, indeed, dodgeball. Coming in at number 8. Oh, wait, that's, who got that one? Who said it first? Al or Josh?
I think it was a tie.
It was a tie?
Between the two of them.
Then Al gets 12 points and Josh gets 9.
It was number 7.
Yeah.
For a tie.
Yes.
Number 6.
Number 9. That was number 9. Coming in at number 8. A married couple travel to meet the bride's parents to celebrate their marriage. When they arrive, they find they are not as welcome as they thought they would be.
Meet the parents.
No.
Right? Or meet the Fockers.
No. Minus 1,000 points.
Father of the bride?
No. Plus 12 points.
Good guess.
So cheaper by the dozen? How many points?
Any
13.
guesses, Al?
Gosh, I don't know. It sounds like there's some weird sort of supernatural twist to it. Her parents are vampires or something, but no, I have no idea.
You get an extra half a point for extrapolating. It is Shrek 2.
Oh, right. Oh, God. As much as I bring up
Which was on the list last week.
It was,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, knock him down. He's an all-star.
Yes. This isn't even a description. This just tells you what the movie is. This next one.
Just say the name of
The name of this movie is blank.
Let's see. A demystified take on a classic tale.
Demystified?
Demystified. Do I have any guesses on what?
Ever After?
No, but that's a good guess. Minus 12 points.
All right.
Anybody else? I will give you a hint. There is a table involved. It is not a square table, nor is it triangular. Yes,
King Arthur?
The movie is called King Arthur.
Nice.
I don't remember this exact one because this and Robin Hood they try to remake like every 3 years and it never works.
Yeah, Robin Hood is the British Batman. You just gotta keep reminding you.
Yeah, he exists,
So
guys.
does Josh get his points back?
He gets 12,000 points.
Nice. I'm almost.
And Al, you get 1,500 for asking. Coming in at number 6. The top-rated newsman in the 1970s.
Anchorman.
Yes.
Yay.
Brian gets 1/4 of a point.
But
We're guessing too quickly.
But the full rating share for a nightly news cast.
At number 5, a demystified take on a classic tale.
Another one?
Shrek 1?
Demystified?
Wait. Routinely exploited by her wicked stepmother, the downtrodden Samantha Montgomery is excited about the prospect of meeting her internet beau at the school's Halloween dance. This is not what I thought this movie was about.
Bewitched?
No.
Wait, what?
No, that's minus minus
wait,
one cat.
Say her name again.
Samantha Montgomery.
Oh, not Samantha Stevens.
Yeah.
Cinderella Strikes Back.
Close.
Internet beau?
Her internet boyfriend. She goes to...
Talk about demystified.
Right. It
meets him in a cafe.
stars the dude from One Tree Hill.
The fuck is...
And I think it's
Like we watched that.
an
Was that
early
required reading?
2000s blonde girl. It might be Hilary Duff.
All right, man. What is it?
A Cinderella story.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Everybody gets 12 points. Coming in at number 4. A young man is beset with troubles in his failing personal life and his professional.
Cinderfella.
In this demystified tale.
Yeah, this week at the movies, there was demystification happening.
How to get ahead in advertising?
Anyway,
Chairman of the board.
you all lose all your points. Spider-Man 2.
Oh. Yeah, I guess.
Of course.
It was last week.
Yeah. We have such short memory spans.
I blame it all on Catwoman. We're all just trying to
And the
stop
Henny.
us from having to talk about Catwoman.
Right?
Yeah. That's the first rule of Catwoman.
A shot coming in at number 3. Number 3, mind you, a shy woman endowed with the speed, reflexes, and senses of a cat walks a thin line between criminal and hero, even as a detective doggedly pursues her, fascinated by both of her personas.
Doggedly.
Doggedly.
Spider-Man 2?
Yes, you all
What
get
was
all.
Al's?
What'd you say, Al?
Spider-Man 2.
Yes, you all get all your points back.
Doggedly.
I think that puts some of us in the negative.
Yeah, exactly. I'm almost up to 0.
Coming in at number 2, in 2035, a technophobic cop investigates a crime that may have been perpetrated by a robot, which leads to a larger threat to humanity.
iRobot?
Yes. No, you Al.
Me, robot.
You Jane.
I can see why I did not see Catwoman. Anchorman, Spider-Man 2, that, yeah.
A Cinderella story.
Well, not that one, but obviously I was not choosing Catwoman.
Yeah, definitely not. No points awarded this round. Number 1.
Fair.
And this one I saw this one in the theater. I remember coming in at number 1. An ex-CIA agent is framed for an operation gone awry and forced to resume his former life as a trained assassin to survive.
Yeah. Movies tell me that they don't actually retire. CIA agents.
Right.
That follows you.
Born Identity?
Very close. The Bourne Supremacy.
Aha.
Oh, wow.
Supremacy.
We were already on the second one.
Yeah, we were. So that means
Maybe he's born with it.
maybe it's CIA.
His new scent.
And that leads to the end of the box office top 10 game. Right now, it is a 3-way tie between myself and my 2 cats. Which leads us to our character background. Al, did Patience... What is her last name? Patience
Phillips.
Patience Phillips
Patience
appear
Phillips.
in any comic books?
No, I am 99% certain she did not. No. This movie was to the DC Catwoman character like the malt beverage version of a Mai Tai.
Zing-a-ding-ding.
Bada boom!
Getting some Dan Rather going.
But it, so Catwoman, the original character, her name was Selena Kyle. She was a normal person, not endowed with special powers. She was a cat burglar who liked to dress like a cat and had a thing for Batman.
Yeah, she was just a little bit older than he was.
She was a little bit country. He was a little bit rock and roll.
So
I cannot verify the difference in their ages.
Oh, okay. Well, if you, yeah, all right. On the show Gotham, it's very well laid out. But even in year one, you can glean how old they both are as they're becoming who they are. But that all
Are you
it has nothing to do with this.
Are you saying that we need to cancel Selena Kyle, Josh? Was a statutory issue?
No. I mean, they could relate to each other. It's why they always had sort of a connection on and off Sam and Diane on the rooftop thing.
Sam and
so this movie we have Patience Phillips, who is endowed with mystical powers by cat breath.
Yes, which is not what it was in the comics.
That's the name of her punk band.
Cat breath.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird because, her initials match, but they chose not to do alliteration.
Yeah.
It's the P and the F, but she still had why did they change the name? Why did they do that?
Yeah. No.
They went with a completely different story. I guess this gets more into the production a little bit, but they were trying to get Michelle Pfeiffer back.
Okay.
For the Catwoman movie. And she declined because her costume was really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and she felt she had kind of aged out of being able to pull it off. And between the time that happened and the time they were really starting to ramp up production on it.
So this was just in respect for her?
They just rewrote a Catwoman story.
They sure did.
Not the Catwoman that we all grew up.
Yep, I'm not
unaware of the future of comic book movies.
Where
you just make a new character or make a new person play the same character every 3 or 4 years.
Right.
Yeah.
They moved heaven and earth to make this bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really did. Well, okay, so I guess we're looking at production for this now, but
well, because I'm sorry, because Al, there's nothing comic book related, right?
No.
They didn't. They made no effort. Yeah.
She had ears on her costume.
She had a whip.
A whip. Yeah.
She had the name.
Cat whip. Bull. Yeah.
She was a cat burglar. Those are the similarities.
Was she?
She became a cat burglar.
Well, she didn't burgle anything. She beat up some burglars and took their stuff.
Yeah, and that was supposedly her cat aspect or persona that took the jewels because she felt bad and returned them.
Yeah. So all right. So as far as the development goes,
so she's a graphic designer, not a cat burglar.
No, she's not. All right.
Bob Kane is creating her let's make her what we are. All right.
No, this movie was 50% like some sort of weird 2000s era rom-com with working for the cosmetics industry and
oh yeah
like Devil Wears Prada kind of thing.
It's so 2004
working girl
in all the worst ways. All right, so as far as the development of this goes, so they were going to make a Catwoman spinoff almost immediately after Batman Returns. Tim Burton was going to direct it, but he opted instead to make an adaptation of The Fall of the House of Usher, which he ended up not making.
Oh, that might have been cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I would have loved to have seen a Tim Burton Fall of the House of Usher.
Alan Poe, yeah.
Right. In 95, they completed the script for a Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman spinoff of Batman Returns, but they thought it wasn't the right tone, given that they were now fully in production with Batman Forever, which was a much more kid-friendly, less dark version of the Gotham universe.
Made by McDonald's, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So they decided that at that point, Pfeiffer said, no, if you guys want to tone it down, I don't want to do it. Let's see. The script kept getting kicked around. They kept going back to the drawing board on it. Ashley Judd was supposed to be Catwoman for a while. Nicole Kidman was supposed to be Catwoman for a while. Batman versus Superman, which we'll get to eventually, was scheduled for 2004, but they canceled development on that. Catwoman was going to be on that with Nicole Kidman as Catwoman.
Is this the one with Nick Cage as Superman?
No, that was the Tim Burton Superman from around 97, 98.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So
did that not get made because of this?
No.
Poorly?
No. They decided
Okay.
decided to cancel Batman versus Superman, and then Nicole Kidman dropped out, and they rewrote the script. And at that point, Halle Berry became involved. So now
it's like a crime report,
right?
And it was
I forget the guy's name. The guy who wrote the script for this got fired after they started making changes, and he started complaining about them, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so this was directed by Pitoff. Just one name, Pitoff. He was. Let's see. He started doing post-production work mostly. Working in like editing and visual effects throughout the 80s, 70s, and 80s. Then he started directing commercials. He was let's see, he worked on Alien Resurrection. Oh God, a bunch of French stuff. He was on The City of Lost Children. He directed a movie called Vido. I don't know how to pronounce this. Vidoque, maybe. I think it's French. And then he did Catwoman. And then they didn't allow him to direct anything for 4 years, and he made a TV movie called Fire and Ice: The Dragon Chronicles, and that's all he's directed.
Wow.
This movie was edited by my fever dreams. The screenplay, we have multiple screenplays. We've got a story by Teresa Rebeck, which generally that means that she wrote a draft. Then they decided to rewrite it to the point where she no longer could get a writing credit, but there was enough left that they had to leave a story by on it.
Yeah. Definitely some men came into the room and were like, no. We need to change all this.
Right. Teresa Rebeck is primarily a playwright and novelist. She did some television work. She worked with... Well, that's weird. She worked, let's see, with Mark Gosler in the Broadway version of The Understudy.
Her.
Yes, her, of course. No, she wrote for Dream On, L.A. Law, Maximum Bob. Wow, I forgot about that show. Law and Order, NYPD Blue. Some of the film work she did was Harriet the Spy.
Neat.
But primarily a playwright. We've got screenplay.
The final screenplay was written by 3 teenage boys.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, patched together with what they think they know about girls.
Right. Yeah, we've got.
These were the same boys that consulted on Game of Thrones later.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, that'll work.
We've got the screenwriting team of John Brancato and Michael Ferris. Let's see. They worked on The Game, Terminator 3, Terminator Salvation. They started out.
The Game is a fantastic movie. So those two guys wrote that.
They have a credit on it. I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, they have the sole writing credit on it. Yep, they wrote it. Let's see. They've worked on The Simpsons in recent years. They started off on Harvard Lampoon. They just kind of seem to be writers for hire.
Yeah. The Simpsons is not just an algorithm now. They actually
Yeah, exactly.
still bring people in to make new episodes.
They're not. Yeah, they're not just copying stuff from earlier seasons. And
Yeah,
trying to get into
they have
a
it.
computer
Yeah.
could be doing it by now.
Oh yeah, they just have an AI assemble things from past episodes, footage, and sound. Let's see. We also have a credit on here from John Rogers. He was the creator and showrunner for the Jackie Chan Adventures. It's a cartoon. He worked on Leverage, The Librarians. As far as movies go, let's see. He has a writing credit on The Core and Transformers, the 2007 one. He also worked on The Cosby Show. No, not The Cosby Show. Cosby, the 90s one, and Eureka.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's our production staff there. The editing and directing on this film is out of its goddamned mind.
Yeah, it is. Right off the bat, they screw with their own chronology, and it'll be obvious when we get there. But so I still haven't heard. I mean, is there any reason why they changed so many things? I understand, like out of respect for Michelle Pfeiffer or something. They didn't even let you know this was Gotham City.
No,
there wasn't even one indication.
I checked. There wasn't. I couldn't find a sign anywhere. Just like I could find nothing that indicated it was Gotham. It clearly wasn't New York or Chicago. So
no,
I don't
it
know.
was a completely
I don't know
CGI'd skyline.
Oh God, the CGI in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, it was 2004, so I give it a little bit of a leeway on that, but it wasn't great even for the time compared to like Spidey 2.
I was just going to say, they were probably being made in tandem by similar, animators. But yeah, they tried to do with her what they did with Spidey, totally CGI her. The reason it worked for Spider-Man is he's wearing a fucking mask. You don't have to pin Tobey Maguire's face. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You don't have to stick Halle Berry's face on the character as it crawls and flips and flies.
Stick Halle Berry's face on Spider-Man.
But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
It works for the guy who you can't see the face of.
And also he's
not Catwoman.
Yeah, and also he's doing a lot less jumping from building to building and a lot more swinging, which I feel like just the physics of that make it less obvious.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man crawled around on walls not as quickly as Catwoman seems to be able to.
No, she is
no problem.
Preternaturally fast, which, I mean, she was given mystical powers, so I guess that's fine, but nonetheless, like, Jesus.
Yeah. So fucked.
Okay, I was going to save this for the end, but I guess I'll bring it up now. This felt like an Elseworlds version of Catwoman.
I know what you mean by
absolutely.
that. Yeah, I don't think the people making it. I
don't think so either. But
was unintentional completely.
As far as changing the character name and the whole mythos of the thing, it felt like an Elseworlds version of Catwoman.
Well, that's perplexing. I mean, I know that Warner Brothers owns the product, but they gave credit to DC Comics and Bob Kane right off the bat.
Yeah.
And there was nothing like, you know what I mean? You could have been someone who didn't own the rights to Catwoman and made this movie.
Which, by the way, I just want to give a quick shout out to Mr. Fingers.
Yeah, Bill Finger.
He did not get his credit on this one and wouldn't for a while.
Right. Which is weird because it's not the character he created. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It was similar enough.
Really?
Ears and a whip, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what we said earlier.
A leather cat outfit and a whip. That's what it is.
Steals.
Yeah, things. I'm not saying take their credit away. It's perplexing to change it so much, and then I don't know. It's just odd.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yes, it is. All right, so this movie stars Halle Berry. We've seen her most recently in the X-Men series as Storm. This is the movie that kind of derailed her career.
Oscar winner.
She
Halle
won.
Berry.
She won 2001. She won for Monsters Ball. She, let's see. What did she do after this? So she was definitely
Swordfish.
on her way up. So after
She was nude in that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember. That was the same year as Monsters Ball. Die Another Day was before this. X2. God, she was on the way up there. So she had X-Men, Swordfish, Monsters Ball. She was a Bond girl in Die Another Day. X2. Gothica was not a great movie, but it wasn't like embarrassing. Yeah. And then after this, she did X-Men Last Stand. And then, geez, we got Perfect Stranger. She played Balky. Things We Lost in the Fire.
My car keys.
Cloud Atlas. That was
phone charger.
That was a crazy movie. Movie 43. She did another X-Men, Kingsman. She was in Chapter 3 of John Wick. So she never really recovered from this, career-wise. Maybe
or
mentally.
She just made enough money showing her boobs in Swordfish to not have to work so much.
And her Academy Award,
She does seem to have a really good sense of humor about her career.
She does.
Still.
Right.
She does. Okay, so I'm going to display this on the table. I generally find Halle Berry to be one of the most overrated actresses I've ever seen.
I kind of do too, but there are some times where I've enjoyed her performance, I have to admit.
I mean, occasionally. She's not just bad. She's not a bad actress, but around the early 2000s when she won the Oscar, she was being hailed as like an immense acting talent, and I just don't see it. I appreciate that. I appreciate her that she broke some barriers as far as like woman of color and the Oscars and all that. So like, kudos for that, but I feel
she takes representation to a terrible level in this.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely think there were far more talented actresses of color working at that time.
She became the 5th actor to possess both the Oscar and the Razzie.
Wow. Do you have the list, Al? I haven't looked that up.
I don't have the list.
All right. Well, come back to us when you've got the list, man.
I guarantee you she's the only one to accept the Razzie.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Good for her.
And I must say that, we didn't see her do it, but if they had done a more straightforward Selena Kyle, the same sort of origin, not mystical and all that stuff, she might have done a better job. Because she might have been able to play Selena Kyle.
Well, yeah, and she was clearly directed to play it very broad. And she was broad as fuck.
Speaking
of Razzies, does Tim Robbins have an Oscar for anything?
I don't know.
Did he get one for the
Shawshank?
player? No, he didn't get Shawshank. Did he get player?
I don't know. But potentially. But he got the Razzie for Howard the Duck.
Oh, that's right.
Well, that same machine you just used will tell you.
Oh, I didn't. My brain? I just used my brain.
Oh, shit. That's what I meant.
So in addition to Halle Berry, we have Benjamin Bratt as Detective Tom Lone. He's Tom, like a tomcat, and he's alone. Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus.
Wait, was that the joke?
I hate screenwriters sometimes. I really hate screenwriters sometimes.
When he said his name, I immediately thought of Han Solo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You by yourself?
We recently saw Benjamin Bratt on the Harmless Entertainment monthly movie. Just $1 a month, guys, at patreon.com/harmless entertainment. We'll get you an extra podcast every month wherein we watched Demolition Man. But for those of you who are not patrons, Benjamin Bratt, he was just a working actor. Got his start off. He was in Blood In, Blood Out. Which, wow, it's crazy to think we had a 50% chance that month of having Benjamin Bratt no matter what.
We should call ourselves the Brat Pack. We were wondering who he was married to when we were talking Demo Man. We thought Sandy, but no, he was married to Julia Roberts around this time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So, yeah, he was also in Clear and Present Danger, Red Planet, Miss Congeniality, again with Sandy. He was in, what was it, Law and Order and NYPD. NYPD detective Ray Curtis on Law and Order. So
he did the voice of Superman in a couple of Justice League animated movies in 2015.
I can see that. He's got a good voice.
But they changed Spider-Man's name to Larry MacArthur for no reason.
Let's see. We've got Sharon Stone as Laurel Hedare.
Wow.
Is she a comic book character at all? Is there anybody powered by makeup?
Powered by makeup.
Or face cream? I don't know.
Evil cream.
Real quick, I'm sorry. Since you mentioned changing names with Benjamin Bratt, the movies that he did where he was Superman, they were Justice League Gods and Monsters, which was an Elseworlds. And in that, he wasn't Clark Kent. He was Hernan Guerra.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, interesting.
All right.
Yeah, but when you go in with the knowledge that it's like this is supposed to be different, not selling it as like this is the thing you've been waiting for.
Well, and just how insulting that it's a female-driven superhero movie, and she is a woman of color, and they still had to make the root of all of this bullshit about makeup.
Oh yeah,
about cosmetics and makeup, and it's like, what do chicks like? And then it's all built around that.
And the big bad is
socially awkward woman who has no interest or luck in men, finding love and then abandoning it.
Yes. Yeah, her level of bumbling.
Oh God.
I mean, Michelle pulled off the bumbling as Selena Kyle in Batman Returns, but yeah, this was just like you said. It was rom-com level, sort of.
It was comically
she was just
terrible.
so bumbling,
yeah,
and her, can't change her clothes because she's so distracted and so uncoordinated.
It was about the same.
Agile.
It was about the same level of clumsy as the girlfriend in the Toxic Avengers.
Yes,
the blind girlfriend, the one Josh you described as constantly being in the middle of an earthquake.
Yes, exactly. Carrying too many useless things.
Yeah.
Spilling them over. Yeah.
So, okay. So we've got
makeup.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's insulting as fuck. Absolutely. Sharon Stone got her start in Stardust Memories. She was a model before that. Then she was in Wes Craven's Deadly Blessing in 1981. Wow. King Solomon's Mines in 1985. That's an Alan Quartermain joint.
Yep.
Which makes me wonder, should we have watched that since we had Alan Quartermain in the...
I wonder.
Oh, shit. Cold Steel, Action Jackson, Above the Law, Total Recall, and then, of course, her big break was what really, really uncrossed her fortunes was Basic Instinct.
Yep, that's right. Cross her fortune. Yep. Classic Beaver Shaft.
Yes. Then she was in Casino, Sliver, Quick and the Dead, Sphere. And yeah, she's Sharon Stone. You know who she is.
I heard a funny anecdote that she told on the Rolling Thunder review documentary, Bob Dylan. So I guess she and her mom went to the first couple shows. She was like 20 years old, 19. And Bob took a shine to her and invited her to a few more tour dates. But anyways, before going on stage at one point, she was standing there smiling. He's like, "Hey, I wrote a song for you." And he went out and performed Just Like a Woman. And she thought he literally had written that for her. So she's listening to that song that everyone else in the world knew, thinking he wrote it for her. It's pretty fun and sweet.
Wait. On that documentary, was that not like mockumentary? Like, because I was very confused.
Which part?
The Sharon Stone specifically. Like, there was a lot in that where I was pretty sure it was like fiction.
No, that's true.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, there was no tongue in cheek. I mean, right at the beginning of the documentary, Bob wonders why they're making this documentary, but no, they didn't state anything.
I was just looking back on Sharon Stone. She was actually a Maybelline model.
There you have it.
Well, there you go.
And she was a Sprite girl.
What is that?
What is that
Like
exactly?
Sprite? Like the drink?
Yeah, Sprite. Yeah, the drink.
Like the Miller Lite girls that come to bars and hand out promo stuff and swag.
I didn't know Sprite had girls.
I know.
Yeah, she was a Sprite model for specifically Diet Sprite Changes on a Train, 1990.
A Sprite model?
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing.
How do I get this job?
Her husband.
I think LeBron James is a Sprite, not to call him a Sprite model, but a Sprite spokesman now.
He's a Sprite girl.
Does it for the bubbles.
That was the same year she did Total Recall.
I'm Baby Sprite. I'm Scary Sprite. I'm Posh Sprite.
Lambert Wilson played George Adair. He was most famous for playing the Merovingian in Matrix sequels. He's French, so he was in a bunch of French stuff throughout the 70s and 80s, including the Gendarme and the Extraterrestrials, which the poster for that is amazing. It looks like Inspector Clouseau is staring up at a UFO. But yeah, it's mostly does French stuff there. He was in
two Matrix movies.
That's why I said he was the Merovingian in the Matrix sequels.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
should be out.
sorry to interrupt, but I guess I have to. You're right. That isn't a true story. But I can't figure out why they did it.
Because when it first came out, so
Scorsese made that,
right? It was essentially, my understanding was it was made to be a cross between a mockumentary and an actual documentary. So like 50% of what they talk about in that is just untrue altogether.
Okay, because at the time of the Rolling Thunder, they were making Ronaldo and Clara, which was a movie in a movie.
Right.
But, wow. Damn. I was wrong about New Mexico. I was wrong about Sharon Stone.
You don't know what to believe.
My medical license taken away.
How old was Sharon Stone when the Rolling Thunder? Okay, she was 19 in 1977, so she would have been old enough to have been there.
She might have been at the concert. Now that I know that, they might have been.
Yeah.
Anyways, Catwoman. I want to talk about this instead.
All right, new podcast.
The Rolling Thunder review.
The rest of this podcast will be about the Rolling Thunder review.
Oh, thank God.
Thank God.
All right, so we got Frances Conroy as Ophelia Powers. She's best known as
Ophelia Powers.
Ophelia Powers. She's best known as Ruth Fisher from 6 Feet Under. She was in American Horror Story.
Now it seems that people just want to make her sort of look weird and grotesque.
Yeah.
She's good in every season of Horror Story she's in, but I don't know. Does she have a cloudy eye now? Because every character she plays.
She does. That's actually her real eye.
Okay.
She had an eye injury, and she says she often wears contacts to cover it up. But I guess since people want to make her look weird, they just like have it out.
Interesting.
Yeah. She got her start. She was, let's see, she went to Juilliard, with Richard Dreyfuss and Raul Julia. She was in the same acting company at Juilliard with them. She was in Manhattan. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I didn't know that. She was in Scent of a Woman. And then, of course, the first place I saw her was in 6 Feet Under. How I Met Your Mother. So she's that lady that you're like, oh yeah, she plays the mom in every show she's in.
She did the voice of Ma Kent in Superman Unbound in 2013.
So,
I also wanted to mention that the role of Ophelia Powers was originally offered to Julie Newmar.
Oh, wow. That would have been
cool.
Yeah. There was a point in this where she's flipping through books and has pictures. I can't remember where exactly it was, but one of the pictures she shows is actually a production still of Michelle Pfeiffer in the Catwoman outfit from Batman Returns.
Yeah, after she pushes her off the ledge to test her, she tosses a bunch of photos down on her at her,
right? Which
and
supposedly explains.
Right.
Explains her.
The photo of Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman is just laying on the ground in front of the Halley cat.
Yeah. So was this character Ophelia? Was she just friend to this cat spirit, or was she a Catwoman before? Were there many Catwomen?
I don't know. We'll get into that.
I assume
all right.
that,
Shit, we haven't.
No, we haven't started yet. We're still on the cats.
All right, nobody else is in the movie. Nobody else.
Wait. We got one more. There's Alex Borstein, who is probably best known at this point either as the voice of Lois Griffin or as Susie Meyerson in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Alex Borstein is great. She's got her start as a writer. She wrote for Pinky and the Brain.
She was on Mad TV. Mad TV,
exactly. That's where she met what's his face from Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane. So, and she's in a bunch of stuff. But she's great in everything she's in. Oh, she wrote for Power Rangers Zeo. Oh Lord.
Man, everybody's got to eat.
Yeah, right. So she's recently won some awards and gotten a lot of kudos for her work on Maisel, which is a good show.
Maisel top.
Yes. And that, my friends.
Oh, wait, there's one more.
Wait, no.
For real though. What's his name? Byron Man. He was one of the henchmen, one of the goons running around. He was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He was in Arrow. He was in a couple of different things. Altered Carbon, The Expanse. I thought he was in an X-Men movie. Maybe that wasn't him. But yeah, he's been in some superhero properties.
Who played the cat?
All those cats were digital.
I know they were. Oh my god!
No, not all the cats were digital. 99% of the cats in the movie were live action.
Yeah, with the exception of the important
like
cats.
bird's eye view shots. Yeah.
They used the CGI cats. They said only when necessary.
Yeah.
No digital cats were harmed in the making of this movie.
Jeez.
Byron Mann, he also had recurring roles on Dark Angel and Smallville.
Oh, yeah.
And Hell on Wheels, which we have another character I'll point out later who was in Hell on Wheels.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
I remember him being one of the Inhumans in the last season of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
That's where I recognized him from.
And just to round it out, we have Michael Massey as Armando, Alex Cooper as Gloria Ojeda, Kim Smith as Drina, Peter Wingfield as Dr. Ivan Slavicki, and Baron McKenzie as Lance. All people who I did not look up their IMDb's.
Since you mentioned Michael Massey, he was Fun Boy from The Crow.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was the voice of Bruce Banner in The Ultimate Avengers 1 and 2 and will appear in both Amazing Spider-Man movies.
All right, and that's the cast.
This was almost Crow-like, you know?
Yeah, in a lot of ways, very much.
The animal has the power, and we don't know why.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in this one, they actually give us a reason why, kind of, almost.
Well, let's see.
Yeah. All right, so this movie was one of the last reviewed by Roger Ebert.
Catwoman is really bad. It's such a letdown. Halle Berry kicks up a storm and looks beautiful and sexy while she's doing it, but that's no big deal. This woman would look stunning if she were shot with an Instamatic. I want a little more depth and insight, better characters, better action. Berry didn't get the substance or vitality in this role to equal her presence and talent. Catwoman is a big disappointment, and I can only give it 1 star. I'm Roger Ebert, ABC 7 News.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
He's right.
Yeah, it's bad.
There was nothing behind it. There was no story
Yeah.
Nothing.
It was a bad movie, and that's it. It's just a bad movie.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm willing to stand on that. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at Al. Okay. So that's it.
I was looking down. Yeah. Breathe into its mouth, Al. Breathe into its mouth.
Guys, you want to get through this train wreck?
Yeah.
Here we go. This is
Meow.
Catwoman. We open with a credit sequence showing us cats throughout history.
I thought about it. I think maybe the four of us renting this probably got Halle Berry a residual check.
She's like, this is the first one of these for Catwoman I've gotten in years. It is a long credit sequence. We unfortunately don't get the seizure warning that the editor was clearly aiming for. Then we're underwater. There's some voiceover about dying and living. I felt like I was dying. And then we talk about being bored, and we meet the voice, Patience Phillips.
But okay, so these title sequences, there were so many like headlines and such, and even subtitles themselves. What were they trying to tell us? I mean, I know the cat was worshipped, and I know the god Bast. They even used that in the Pink Panther, in the Black Panther movies. But what were they trying to tell us about this historic timeline? There were many cat women?
Yes. They kept showing photos of women wearing cat outfits and such. And then Ophelia Powers shows us all these photos again later and explains that there are many cat women through history.
But Ophelia wasn't one of them.
There's an entire subreddit just dedicated to that now.
So Ophelia's just a familiar of she's not been a Catwoman.
It was unclear.
She's a familiar.
She was a professor for a while. She was a cat professor. I don't know if she was a cat woman.
Yeah, that was one of my questions from later on. She was a professor of what? Cats?
Cat history, cat woman history.
Cat history.
A professor of cat history.
It was a proud history.
Anyway,
the cat armada.
She majored in cat history. All right.
She comes later.
So Patience Phillips is a graphic designer. She designs ads for a cosmetics company. And she's a little bit salty about wasting her art degree. We meet Sally, her spunky, horny, and completely two-dimensional best friend who's using a new beauty cream.
So formulaic, because you have to have that girlfriend. And then she also had the gay coworker. Like you said, there was a rom-com happening in this office.
It was like they combined two entirely disparate scripts, like a rom-com 2000, like something starring Goldie Hawn's daughter, what's her face, Kate Hudson. Yeah, something starring Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey and Catwoman, like were combined.
The character of Sally did allow this movie to pass the Bechdel test.
Yep, but it's
because they did talk about work.
Right. Yes.
Makeup.
They had
talk about
one conversation about work. And after that, they only spoke about men.
Yeah, that's true.
So it did technically pass the Bechdel test. So we cut to a board meeting where the owner of the Hedare Cosmetics Company, George Hedare, is announcing a new beauty cream. And his wife announces she's retiring as the face of the company for a younger model. Patience meets with George and Laurel, and George berates her work. Laurel sticks up for her. Then George gives her until midnight the next night to fix the ad that she apparently used the rug. Okay, so it's going to take more than 24 hours to change the color of red because that's the only thing he mentioned.
Yeah.
And doesn't a whole other day happen before that midnight? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, he said midnight tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good catch. Yeah. I did not.
And then we've got the rest of this day and then all of the following day, which are two very...
He criticizes her fashion sense and tells her to get a manicure.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, this is 2004. Photoshop existed. I'm positive they would have been using it. And all he told her to do was change the color of red. Why does that take like 28 hours?
And then it has to be hand delivered.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That night, She's kept awake by a party in an apartment in her building, but she's too meek to do anything about it. She sees a cat in the street. Then the next morning, she's painting, and she sees the cat again on the side of the building. She tries to go out to rescue it, but gets stuck herself on a air conditioning unit that's about to fall.
Yeah, so the movie could have started like with this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We could have set up she was an artist, saw this cat that was kind of messing with her, goes to rescue, meets Benjamin Bratt. Then they could have gone to her office and gone from there.
Originally, it was supposed to start with this.
There you go.
And that is why she's wearing the same clothes from the day before, because the scene we just saw was supposed to take place after this one.
After this. Yep.
Oh, my God. Yes, it was, wasn't it?
That's why I was confused with the chronology.
Yeah, the continuity. They had no continuity person in this movie.
None.
At all.
Well, it seems like they clearly got to editing and were like, wow, we have to fix a lot of things now. Maybe if I cut every 1.5 seconds, no matter what the scene is.
Or
snip.
Let's go back and have 3-minute titles of some vague history.
Right. He was Edward Scissorhandsing in the editing bay.
Yeah, totally.
It's not the only Edward Scissorhandsing we see in this movie.
No.
At least we didn't see her cat DNA.
At least.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the DNA definitely sees to have finally petered out. It lasted like 3 years.
a while.
It was 3 years of DNA.
Yeah, I think it comes back. But yeah. It was
very sticky.
So Detective Tom Lone is passing by and sees her, thinking that she's going to jump off the side of the building, so he stops to help and rescues her. They don't have time to chat, though, because she's late for work.
And she conveniently drops her wallet.
Yes.
And he doesn't call out to her, even though we hear her a couple seconds later open and close the door of the building.
Yeah, no.
She could have been like, hey, excuse me.
You're going to need this to catch a cab or the subway.
Yeah, so instead he's like, I'll have an excuse to bring it to her house. Her work.
I'll steal her money.
I'll steal
he
the
shows
money.
up
No one
hours
will suspect
later to her
No.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was implied that it was hours later.
Long time.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had to go back to the office, find where she worked, Google artwork and Dutch masters, so he could sound knowledgeable and then admit that he Googled it. Anyway.
Why?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He looks like Benjamin Bratt. He's fine.
And he's a detective.
Yeah. It was like they were like, here, love interest. Next.
Well, no, again, this is the most like screenwritten screenplay movie ever. Like it's
right.
Like everything they do is just like, this is how it is written.
Yeah. They went to a weekend seminar type thing.
Yeah. So yeah. Then back at the beauty art factory, George and Laurel bicker. Then Detective Tom returns Patience's wallet. They chit chat, and then he invites her to coffee. She has to work late to get her work done by midnight.
But we did have an evil board meeting. I mean, I know it was legitimate business, but
yeah,
we had the bad guy board meeting.
Well, and at this point, he is the bad guy. He fires his wife.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They did make a point of letting us know that what's her name, Laurel, has been using the Butylene for quite some time to retain her youthful looks,
and that she's getting headaches.
I
Sally.
don't think Sally's getting headaches.
Sally. Sorry.
Yeah.
Laurel seems to be headache free.
with
Except for her husband. Her husband's a giant headache.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Talk to your doctor if your husband's a giant
He
headache.
hasn't said anything useful since he said, I do. That's an actual line from the movie.
Oh, fuck.
Was it useful or meaningful?
Maybe it was meaningful.
Anyway.
Yes. So, all right. She works late, but there's no messenger to pick up the completed work because she apparently just did it by hand.
And okay, so she was in her office or she was at work finishing up, right?
Yeah.
Where the ad stuff takes place. And his office is upstairs. Yeah.
Is upstairs. Yep. Okay.
So why?
But she has to deliver these mock-ups to
the factory.
Some sort of what? It's a treatment center. It's a warehouse. It's a factory.
Yeah.
Labs.
It's a lab, and then in one corner they talk makeup business.
Like, yeah.
Why would you have the graphic designer bring that to you?
Yeah.
And these labs / factory are all the way across town or something like that.
On the wharf, right?
At least halfway across town.
On the wharf.
On the riverside.
Of not Gotham City.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So she shows up to the cream factory, wanders around the building.
I literally thought she was going to fall into a vat of makeup.
Same.
Yes.
Just waiting for that moment.
She starts to slide in that muck. You can't qualify it as a vat, but yeah.
Well, and there was that one point where Benjamin Bratt was like, "Get him down."
Yep, bring him down. Get him down. Yeah.
So she shows up there, and the front door is locked. So she wanders around and goes in an unlocked, restricted access door.
Yeah,
around back.
She's like, "I'm the graphic designer."
For a smoke break.
I'm here to deliver the graphic designs to the cream factory.
That's what I am doing.
Yeah, so she overhears a conversation between someone off screen, which is clearly Sharon Stone. I don't know how they were trying to leave this for a reveal.
They did show her face.
Did they?
They did.
Yeah.
At one point, they showed her face actually talking in the room, so it was not supposed to be a big reveal. I didn't notice it until I watched it the second time. I thought the same thing the first time.
But you're right.
Sorry to backtrack just a bit. Why did her husband fire her if she is the living proof that their shit works?
Because he wanted to fuck the younger model.
You can do that.
They're
going to make $1 billion.
Yeah. Again,
that doesn't make any sense.
The two bros that came in to fix the script.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, none of this makes any sense.
Yeah, she's not aging.
Look at my aging wife, who does not age. She's proof.
I'm going fishing for the weekend.
Let's get this 20-year-old girl to show the effects of this age-defying cream.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that is what it's like. Yeah.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
No.
Right.
Yeah, just from a cosmetics advertising point of view.
Yeah.
It doesn't much less.
She's not the targeted market.
Yeah,
I want to race Frankie. That's not who you're looking for.
So, okay.
Only her blood is useful.
So
I sell this to Jane Fonda, you know.
I never thought when we started a podcast about superhero movies that we'd spend this much time talking about the cosmetics industry.
Right.
So, all right. So, yes, she overhears a conversation between the scientist and Sharon Stone about how their new beauty cream has terrible disfiguring side effects. It is, in fact, evil beauty cream.
Yep. So that's
Sharon
another
Stone,
stock.
She's not alarmed. She's been slathering her body in this
She knows.
Yeah.
For what seems to be years.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right. So the extreme scarring only happens if the consumers stop using it.
Yeah. I would be worried. I'd be like,
so you just,
man, I've been using this
just
shit
need to
for a
keep
long
using
time.
it and you're fine.
Well, and it
always
has
have a tube in your pocket.
We find out later it has special powers.
It's addictive. We do know it is addictive.
Yeah.
And some of the side effects, though, are headache, and there were a few others.
Nausea, fainting spells.
Yeah.
So
we know the chick from Mad TV never gets scarring. She just gets headaches. She has mild side effects, I guess.
The scarring is if that's the long-term effects. So she wasn't using it long enough to get the scarring.
Or whatever they did in the hospital reversed the, I don't know.
The green scar.
So there's
Well, at some point she's living in the hospital. Like she's
for no
taking
real
calls at the
fucking
nurses'
reason,
stand.
right?
Yeah.
And
If you've ever been in a hospital, there's a phone in your room. You don't have to go stand in the middle of the nurse's station. Yeah.
As to why she's been living in the hospital the whole time. The last scene of the movie, basically, or second to last scene of the movie.
Yeah.
So her insurance covers that. Like,
right.
Thirsty.
Well, I think the doctor was paying out of pocket at a certain point.
Out of
as
pocket.
a quid pro quo or something. For continued treatment.
All right. So, yeah. Okay. So, she's noticed, and 2 armed goons are set upon her. You know, the kind of armed goons that are constantly hanging around cosmetics factories.
Right.
I thought you meant 2 armed goons, like both of them had both of their arms.
2 armed goons. Better than those 1 armed goons.
Yes.
2 one-armed goons. You know.
There's lefty and righty. Lefty and righty.
Like
the 2 one-armed goons. So all right. They try to hunt her down. She flees. She ends up in some tunnels.
The giant pipes of the waste treatment facility.
Right. Yeah.
They opened the pipes to let her into them.
Isn't this the cosmetics factory? Do they have to flush thousands of gallons of cosmetics occasionally into a river?
Apparently they do.
Apparently they do. Yeah.
Moral
and
are lacking at this
It's a multi-purpose building.
There's a door that goes into the pipes. I guess so maintenance people can go in and like scrub it out every once in a while. I don't know.
Scrub out
check for clogs.
Yeah, scrub out the toxic cosmetic leavings that they flush into Gotham River or whatever this is.
the tailing ponds.
The cosmetics tailing. That's what I'm saying. What is this?
As if it's not made from chemicals from the word go. It's like these are the things that are filtered out of the makeup that we don't need. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
it's a meat processing or
Yeah, exactly.
copper mine.
All right, so she gets flushed out into a body of water and drowns, I guess, is how she dies.
The flush happens in slow motion too, which as the water leaves the tube with her in it, it's in slow motion. And I rewound it to be like, what the fuck? Why do they do that in slow motion? That makes no sense whatsoever. It doesn't have drama or anything.
The exit pipes are also like some 100 meters above the water line, on the side of a cliff. I just feel like most waste disposal from companies like this is more discreet than giant pipes 100 meters above.
Well, I wanted her to turn around and be like, I didn't kill my wife.
I don't care.
Go jump.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Because I can't imagine that anyone's okay with them disposing of this waste in this river that runs through this major city.
Is it the bay of an ocean?
I don't know.
It's the ocean.
Is it Lake Michigan?
No, but Al's exactly right.
Some sort of estuary.
Someone would notice the splashing shit that falls from 100 meters. It's just like, wow, there's a lot of splashback from this. We really should have put the pipe lower. Right.
Well, okay. And if she's being shot 100 meters out of a pipe and landing, she would basically her entire body would have been crushed by the fall and hitting the water.
Because she wakes up on a jagged beach, down Rocky Point way, where it's just the big jagged rocks that come out.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So she washes up on Cat Beach.
It turns
Those cats
into
are attracted to the goop, I think.
Turns into a 60s surf movie.
Okay. Does she wash up on shore, or does the cat drag her out?
That was a legitimate question, folks. Yes.
I thought she landed on the ground.
No, she didn't land on the ground. She landed in the water and drowned. And then we see the cat on land who yells, and then there's a shot of the cat's maw coming towards the camera. So did this cat drag her onto land?
Maybe the tide receded. People don't understand how the tides work. They just come in and go out.
Can't explain that.
Yeah, can't explain that.
There's just no way.
That fits right in with the logic of this movie.
Well, either way.
Right. So
because it did look like a tide pool, kind of a rocky.
You're right, but she couldn't have washed up because it was all jagged. But you're right, the tide could have then receded, and she was already laying on those rocks.
Okay.
But you could also believe, based on the bullshit information we're giving, that this cat, this magical cat, who we then find out is named Midnight,
is an actual cat. It's a real cat. He hasn't been hallucinating this cat at all.
No.
He wrote several books. He's based on a real cat. I think it would be fair to glean the cat pulled her out as well as the tide.
No,
they don't give you any indication.
No, there's no reason to believe he didn't.
And then he calls a session of Cat Congress to witness him breathing his magic cat breath of rebirth into her.
Yes.
Ugh,
yes.
the smell. I can just
Magic cat power.
He endows her with cat powers, which makes me wonder why.
Cat powers, which makes him a bluesy sort of barroom singer.
Right? They really, really missed the chance to have cat powers do the soundtrack.
They really did. Instead, they went with Hoobastank.
Well, they should have named her Hoobastank Woman.
Yeah, if you have the option. Why eat hamburger, Lisa, when you can eat steak?
So anyways, she wakes up and she's good and has cat magic. And then she wanders home, or she discovers her senses are heightened. She wanders home crouched weirdly through alleys.
Yeah, all of her movement is just fucked.
Oh my God, the way she moves.
So this was something that got to me. I don't have cats. I had cats as a younger person. Cats are meticulous about cleaning themselves.
Yeah,
she is covered in shit. Like her whole body is covered in shit. Her face, in particular, is covered in shit.
Well, and I've noticed she like eats constantly, and she eats very quickly throughout this. Like whenever she does cat eating, she's like just. Like with the sushi, just plowing in. Yeah. That's not how cats eat. Cats eat very pickly. Not pickle, but pickled. Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting that the transfer of power is basically Kabukiman style.
Yes.
Through a kiss.
Yeah. Same device.
Kiss. Kitty kiss.
Or mouth to mouth, or
a kiss and some raw fish. It is Kabukiman.
Yeah, it is.
Kabukiman had a better theme song.
She had a more simian way of moving, maybe just at first, but you know what I mean? She was more ape-like in her movements than she was cat.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just at first getting your cat legs.
I think that was the uncanny valley of the CG and making a human being try to look like a cat.
I think you're right.
We don't. It's like Dogman. We all remember Dogman.
Yeah.
Always looks more like an ape than a dog.
When he was first found in the wilderness. Yeah.
Dog boy.
Dog boy. Yeah.
Yep. Jojo the dog
boy.
Yeah. So
that's the same name. Dog man. Dog boy. Let's do this.
So all right, so she discovers she can do crazy acrobatic stuff, smashes open her own window because apparently she doesn't leave a key under a flower pot. She wakes up the next morning on a shelf. She's got her paw. She's doing the paws. The little paws.
Paw thing.
Well, and she's dressed.
Yeah.
She's
dressed
clothes.
and she's perfectly cleaned.
Yeah.
So, she did meticulously clean herself before she fell asleep.
And then slept with her paws up.
Back to your point, Brian, about cats cleaning themselves.
Cats don't continue on until they are clean.
That's right.
You get a cat dirty and it's like, oh, fuck this, man. The world stops. They need to clean themselves.
That's true.
You'd think the cats would have helped her with that, maybe.
All the cats.
Cat goop off.
Or at least sang a song to her. Rum Tum Tugger.
We'll get to the cat song, right? There's a mine song in this movie.
Yeah, the lyrics are terrible.
Well, I'm upset that she didn't have a posse of cats following her around the whole time.
Yeah, I would have been hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like she was
like fly, my pretties.
She was like the cat lady from The Simpsons, where she's just throwing cats at people.
Oh my god, that would have been amazing.
And of course, fake cats would be the funniest, like laser cats, But yeah, just tossing cats.
Speaking
furiously.
Oh my god, yeah. All right. Well, actually, we'll get to that part. I'm going to talk. All right. So
we'll
anyway.
get to that part.
No, I was just thinking about fake things being thrown, and there's just one shot in this that was just terrible.
Yeah.
All right, so
just one.
Well, All right, so the cat, Midnight, is there. She finds its address on its collar in a little tube.
Yeah.
A slip of paper concealed in the collar.
Yes.
Right.
Rather than
the metal
tag, which most animals do.
It is commonplace in the Americas
Yes.
and probably throughout the world.
For all the things Midnight can do, there are as many things he can't do.
Right? He can't get that fucking collar off.
He can't tell you where he lives or lead you there. Dogman style.
Dogman.
Yeah, you think over thousands of years of leading women to become Catwoman, he would have figured out a way to communicate that a little bit clearer.
Right.
Well, perhaps he can, but being a cat, he simply doesn't want to.
It's true. Can, but not. Yeah. Can, but won't.
Yeah. So, all right. So she goes to the address and finds a
which is a single-family home neighboring a brownstone and surrounded by high-rises.
Yeah, it's up.
Yeah.
It's up.
So
it's the house from Up.
So animated, yeah.
But yeah, she's got this, I don't know, ancient house in the middle of modern city.
Yeah.
Whatever the city is.
Maybe Midnight has maybe he bought it many years ago.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if this is a new cat or if this cat is immortal.
Yeah.
Or Ophelia's just been living there forever, because it's not ancient. It's from this century. But Ophelia bought it when she was a professor, and she just never sold to the realtors, the realty speculators.
I see. So
to get her house knocked down.
Gotcha.
So, all right.
Anyway.
So, yeah, she finds the crazy cat lady, Ophelia, who's all weird about cats. And also, for some reason, her floppy cuffs are out of control. And she really digs catnip now.
Yeah. Oh.
The catnip. She throws
See?
catnip?
And she goes to start rubbing it all over her face.
It all over her face. I hope that was a one-take deal.
She should have just cracked a can of tuna. Just like...
No, the rubbing on the face is so important.
And she has all the leaves of catnip on her lips after she's done rubbing it on her face. But yeah, Ophelia tossed it to her as a test.
Yes.
Even at this point, Patience is like, "You crazy." I just like this little ball.
That's all. So she goes back to work where George berates her publicly for not delivering her art. So then she tells him off in front of everybody. He fires her.
After
as he's yelling at her, she's just like sketching and ignoring him like a cat would.
Right. Now, what they also do, she sort of snaps out of it and then puts her hand to her mouth like, I can't believe I said that. And she tries to take it back. Is there a separate personality within her that is the cat? Does she change into the cat?
Like a
it
Jekyll
felt like
and
there
Hyde.
was multiple personalities.
Definitely.
Okay. Because I was curious. Yeah, it seemed like a Hulk or Hyde type moment where she herself is conflicted. Same with the jewels a little later on.
Well, yeah. And it seems
that's a persona.
It seems like this is a badly developed theme that perhaps was slightly clearer in an earlier draft of the script.
Yeah.
So he fires her and then everybody claps. She and Sally.
Who's coming with me?
She and Sally walk home. Sally collapses on the street, but in the hospital, she's just fine now.
She's fine.
She's like, totally fine. She's spunky.
Got a couple bags of saline, and I'm ready to run.
The doctor's cute, and I'm spunky.
Well, she's fine, but she's there for the rest of the movie.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Before she faints, Patience hisses at some barking dogs and then eyeballs a shiny necklace.
Yeah, the freaking heart of the ocean or whatever.
Yes.
You don't keep that kind of jewelry in a window, by the way.
No, you don't.
Yeah, by the way.
You keep shit that people will buy in the window, and you keep that kind of shit in a vault for your special customers that come in and do private shopping.
Yes.
Yeah, well, but let's be clear that this jewelry store is terrible. They do not have an alarm system.
Yeah.
And Yeah. All right. So let's see.
Which is why it's a target for so many people on the same night.
Tonight's the night.
They must get robbed all the time.
They must.
So in the hospital, Sally's kept for observation, although she's not so much worried about her medical issues, though more worried about Patience's love life.
Yeah.
Because Patience missed her. Oh yeah, that's right. She missed her coffee date with Mr. Lone
Tom
Wolf,
Lone.
the lone brat. So Patience. She tells him to go find the cop. Patience shows up at random local middle schools until she finds the one that Tom is speaking at.
So this is the most confusing scene to me. Out of all the scenes in this movie, I understand that police go and encourage young children not to become criminals in movies.
Yeah, we had the DARE program even.
Yeah, it was kind of like a DARE thing. Where was the teacher? Why did he dismiss them to recess? Why were they all gathered around him? And then the basketball scene.
It seeed as though he were the teacher.
Yeah,
day.
It was like
very much.
He was a substitute teacher by day and a detective by night.
Like gotta pay the bills somehow.
Tell me more.
So then she gives him coffee with sorry written on it for missing the date. They flirt and play what can only be described as something that vaguely resembles a basketball game is filtered through an ayahuasca fever dream.
Right.
Yeah, that was like a
very
sexual
erotic.
basketball one-on-one.
Sensual.
I described it as a b-ball sex dance.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of Daredevil and Elektra in the way that, it was just seemed like they were dancing together.
Yeah.
Well, and neither of them
So
had ever played
choreographed.
basketball, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the shots plural, because it cut of her like flipping the basketball around in her arms while she like laughs maniacally and her big floppy red sweater sleeves flop around the edges of the screen.
And her ass is up front and center that she wiggles.
Like, dear God, what the fuck was this scene?
Is that something cats are known for? Basketball?
Yeah. Do cats play basketball? Al, you have cats?
Professionally? Or?
They play with little balls.
No, I mean,
Tell us
they
more
do.
about it.
Not testicles necessarily, but they play with toys.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just a toy in her hands.
I mean,
it was to show her agility and reflexes.
It was so reminiscent of Daredevil.
It was.
And that awful dance.
It absolutely
that at that
was.
point had been
On a
divided
playground.
for how many years before this did Daredevil come out? Two?
Like 2 years. Yeah, I think 2 years. Yeah.
And that was the big complaint about that movie, was that scene more than any scene.
This scene was one of the worst pieces of filmmaking I have ever seen on screen, period.
Yes.
In any movie.
Yeah. At one point, she jumped off, like the very beginning, she jumped off the wall, like that was going to be impressive. And I just was like, what? Why'd you do that?
It's all parkour.
Yeah.
Okay. Then back at the makeup mill, Laurel is pissed that George is cheating on her with the young new model. Sally calls
the gala.
Yes,
So
there's going to be
it
a
was
gala.
an opera.
Yeah, but it
they
was
called it.
They did call it a gala. Sally calls Patience, and their only topic of conversation again is Patience's love life. This is the second time. This is the second time Patience says, "You sound better."
We saw Laurel break a glass in her hands, and it does not cut her.
No, it does not. At first, I thought that was just sloppy filmmaking, but then later on, obviously, it is a thing. So later that night, the party next door or across the alley is keeping her up again. So she goes over there and kicks a bunch of bikers' asses.
This was Christopher Heyerdahl was the rocker as he was credited. Christopher Heyerdahl, he played the Swede on Hell on Wheels. He was like the main antagonist throughout that. So he was with Man, whatever his name was, something Byron Man for one season of that.
The Thor Heyerdahl.
It's Christopher. Yeah, is he related to
Thor
I don't
Heyerdahl?
know.
No, that was the guy that did Kon-Tiki, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thor Heyerdahl? Yes, yeah.
I don't know if they're related. It might be a common name.
It is. Yeah.
Christopher Heyerdahl, he played Zor-El in 2 episodes of Smallville. That's Zor-El, not Jor-El.
Not your L.
Bizarro.
Not your daddy's L.
Zor-El was Supergirl's father, I think.
Oh.
Okay. Was
the brother of Jor-El.
So he was
Peter
married to
O'Toole's
Mia
brother.
Farrow in Supergirl.
Yes, that guy.
He has made appearances in True Blood, Gotham, and Arrow. He's had prominent roles in Stargate's Atlantis and Van Helsing, the series. And we will see him again soon in Blade Trinity.
Oh, yes.
The rocker dude? That's who you're...
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that gets her all hot and fired up. So she cuts her hair. Dyes her
sprays
hair.
them with a hose. They have a hose inside their house.
Oh,
That was from the
it's one of
keg. It was a keg hose.
No,
Air
it's
tap.
called a Wonder Bar. No,
Yeah.
it's the gun.
It's the
that has the
multiple
non-alcoholic
dispenser.
beverage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it would have been she
the
rips
mixer
it off.
thing.
Yeah, it would have been funny if she kept the Wonder Bar gun through the rest of the movie and just used that as
the
her
whip.
Use that as the whip.
Where did she get the whip from? Did I miss that when she got an
She
actual
took it
whip?
off. So some dude at this club or party had it on his belt. And
Okay.
she grabbed it off. So
She
the
took
story
my
of the
whip.
whip, the story of the whip has a prologue that we don't know about.
Yeah,
That
so
guy
she's like
brought
the
that whip.
Terminator. She's just like, I'm going to get all of my gear from some bikers.
Well, okay. So this is an apartment. This is an apartment. But this dude has clearly made it up to be a bar. He made his own bar in this apartment.
Kind of a New York thing to do, though, right?
Yeah,
Well, they
sure. And then invites a
But,
dude
it was
with a whip.
confusing. Yeah, the guy with the whip. He's here.
You mean Larry?
Indiana Jones.
You mean Larry? I don't even show up until Whip Guy gets here. Things don't pop off till then.
Okay, so she
Freaky bar.
So then we get a montage of her cutting her hair, dyeing her hair, putting on makeup.
Yeah, it's the devil meets Wears Prada meets Scissor Man. What's his face?
Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands.
But this is the most like bullshit sexist superhero suiting up scene ever.
Yeah.
She's giving
The
herself
red
a
lipstick.
makeover.
Yeah. Ugh. Somebody in the bar told her to get a life.
Well, and not to mention, she cuts her hair short and then bleaches it.
Mm. Yeah.
Halle Berry is a black woman.
Yes.
Her hair. This is like so much work would go into maintaining her hair like that, and making her hair look like that in the first place. And they're just like, check it out. She's got white lady hair.
Yeah.
She got what I remember at the time was very fashionable, kind of like that TLC look, but now is very much a Karen haircut.
Oh yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
She had a Karen haircut the entire movie.
Yeah. It didn't age well. So she steals. Okay. Yeah. She puts on the leather outfit for a dating emergency. Again, this is just like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Well, yeah, I think we might have missed it, but right around this time, one of her little quippy lines is "Time to get accessories." Just so
Time to accessorize. She jumps on the bike. She says, "Time to accessorize," and she rides off. A motorcycle helmet magically appears on her head.
That's right.
And then magically disappears when she stops at the jewelry store.
Oh, that's funny.
Right, but having her
man.
say that's just something these two bros, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
She couldn't be empowered no matter what. They never gave her that, yeah.
Well, and when she's empowered, it's in a very girl stuff's cool too.
Right. Yeah, totally. I don't need math.
This scene that we're getting to, the cat burglary slash stopping a robbery scene.
Who is the burglar?
Yeah,
exactly.
Are we the bad guys?
Yeah, who is?
But it made me think of Zoe Kravitz is going to be Catwoman in the new Batman movie.
Yes.
And I just really hope that they take a long look at this movie and go, none of that. We're doing none of that whatsoever. Let's look at this and go the opposite direction a million miles per hour.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sure they will.
I've seen one short clip of Zoe Kravitz as the Catwoman from the trailer, and she looks a million times better.
She looks like an actual cat burglar. Yeah, I saw her. She was like listening with a stethoscope and breaking and like cracking a safe. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It just gave me some hope for this character in general, because Catwoman I don't think has done anything except for on television since then.
No.
Selena Kyle.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. My bad.
Anne Hathaway was.
Yeah.
And she even had the little ears, and they weren't dorky, and they served a purpose.
That Catwoman was fine in my memory. It's been a few years, but yeah. So all right. She then there's this whole jewelry scene. She finds these dudes busting up the jewelry. So they're in the jewelry store. All the lights are on. Clearly the power hasn't been cut. Maybe they cut the alarm, but they're just smashing cases willy-nilly for no apparent reason. If the alarm's cut, just open the cases.
Well, yeah. And they both have shotguns.
Yes.
Like
for crowd control.
You'd think, like, why do you have a shotgun? You're like robbing this place in the middle of the night.
Right? Yeah, the only reason you'd have a shotgun is for like show. So you can shoot the ceiling, scare people to get down on the ground,
Right.
Yeah, but we're going to bring 2 shotguns to an empty jewelry store, which we're stealthily smashing cases in the middle of the night.
And they're going to carry the shotguns with them instead of like a bag to put loot in. It just none of it made sense.
They were just smashing the cases and pulling the loot out and holding it.
Yeah.
There was also a third guy with a shotgun.
Okay.
Well, if they had done a little introduction like Toxie took the time to do.
Well, there was no crowd for them to riff with.
Well, you still got to practice, right?
Well, yeah.
They could have been talking to Shemp driving the van. I mean, they're something.
Totally.
She busts them up and takes the jewelry for herself.
She can apparently run straight up walls, like cats do.
Yeah.
Yep. And she has super strength that she never had before.
She's essentially, I don't know,
Neo.
She has
Matrix.
She has the proportionate strength and agility of a cat.
Okay. Our cat's
I would
that
say
strong?
more so.
Yeah. I don't know.
I was riffing on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
She has the power of 2 cats.
I wish she was bitten by a radioactive cat. That would have been better.
From the radioactive cat laboratory.
Yes, exactly.
Where they're breeding super cats.
Right. There was a different cat movie that I wish we were following in this movie. Midnight and his posse of cats.
Yes.
What are they doing?
Smoking cigarettes and playing cards somewhere, probably.
Yeah, the Boys and Girls and Cats Club they had to put together.
They're like, cats. So, all right. She decides to keep some of the jewelry, though she gives most of it back, returns it. Tom's investigating because he's apparently the only working detective in this city.
It appears that she gives back all of the jewelry except for that shiny necklace that she saw in the window from the very beginning, which turns out to be some one of a kind antique necklace from Egypt.
She keeps a ring though as well.
And she has to convert some of that into the diamond claws.
Right.
Yeah.
So she keeps enough diamonds to make diamond claws.
Well, and once again, another insulting female thing. She takes a ring, she puts it on her ring finger or engagement ring finger, and sort of sighs or giggles, and then puts it on the same finger, the opposite hand.
Ugh. That's
so,
just gross.
Always a bridesmaid, never a cat.
Girls just want to get married.
Bitches be shopping.
Okay, so... yeah.
Did we mention the The sorry written on the bag of jewelry.
That's right. She writes sorry on the bag of jewelry and returns it.
And she leaves cupcakes.
Yeah. And these two sorries have to be analyzed.
Wait. No. Okay. We'll get to that.
We'll get there.
Because holy fuck, between the sorries and the lip prints.
Yeah, the lip print.
Oh, well, and well.
But ignoring all the DNA evidence that's probably everywhere.
Yeah.
Not to mention this man has been dating this woman now for about a week.
Yes, and he can't recognize her when she's wearing a hat.
I would call it Gotham face blindness, but we don't even know if they're in Gotham. So this city has the same problem.
All right, so
terrible detective.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, Patience Googles cats and women. The two most Googled things on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. Did you mean puss?
I love that she gets cat pictures, though, like cute cat pics.
Right, yeah.
That was possibly my favorite part of this entire movie.
Yeah.
Was her smiling at these cat pics and then going on to find, like, demonic and
that's what
cults and witches.
Cat would do.
The one cat that was dressed up like a woman with the horn rim glasses and the beehive.
Yeah. Yeah, there was one like at a birthday party with like a birthday party hat, like with a little kazoo thingy.
That was one of the cat women throughout history, and she's just a secretary at a middle school. Glasses and beehive. Yes, internet research like a cat would do. Yeah, for sure.
Totally. So she heads back to Crazy Cat Lady, who tells her that she was a cat professor, and then she tells her Patience was given powers by the Egyptian god Bast through the cat Midnight, and now she has to either fight evil or rob people or something.
She tells her that cat women are not contained by the rules of society, so they just kind of do whatever they want.
They're suffragettes.
And explains the powers and aspects of cat women through history. Also in this scene, she refers to Midnight as both he and she in the same scene.
Oh, how very well. I want to say forward thinking, but mostly lazy.
No.
Mostly lazy.
Yeah, figures like that. Yeah, figures like that existed, in literature and text. Right? Yeah. So he embodied both spirits, male and female.
I think it was just
or they weren't
lazy editing.
The continuity.
Yes, it was absolutely the continuity.
Right.
Well, when you have to have that many edits in a film, something's going to slip through.
A lot.
There's no way to know. So she gets all dressed up for a bondage party and then finds the guy that killed her. Follows him to a club, beats him up a little bit in the alley, and makes him confess that George is in fact making evil beauty cream.
What?
Back at the bar where she finds Armando, she orders a White Russian, no ice, hold the vodka, hold the Kahlua.
So cream.
Cream, straight up.
Yeah. All right.
She was a laugh riot.
She heads back to the cream factory where the scientist has been murdered.
Where Eric Clapton and Ginger Baker are working on
Right.
Dude.
Hey, okay. So she's spotted by a janitor who pulls an alarm. Is it a murder alarm that he pulls?
Yeah.
There's no fire.
Yeah, you'd think that would set off the sprinklers.
Right? So she flees. Then the next day, she visits Sally in the hospital and discovers that Catwoman is being blamed for the murder. She tells Sally to stop using the beauty cream.
Yep.
Then, at the police station, Tom suspects that Patience is the Catwoman based on a handwriting sample. This is the point where where his detective friend just casually mentions how fat his wife is.
Yes.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And if there's a national data bank of lipstick marks that he can cross-reference, he's like, no two lipstick stains are the same. There's unique as, say, I don't know, a fingerprint, but we don't use those anymore.
Well, okay. All right. So, all right. This is the handwriting analysis. So they have a forensic guy in this one, like, inner city police precinct who is an expert at handwriting analysis, has these giant forensic computers that are set up just to do handwriting for analysis, and then spouts the most like nonsensical pseudoscience at him about how this lady's ready to party.
That's exactly what he says. Yeah. Oh my God. He says, wait.
Before that, he said none of this is scientifically accurate. None of this is scientifically proven. Yeah, it's not an exact science. But here's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, and we even as the viewers, we can tell these are written by the same person clearly. But Brat asks, like, is it the same person? No, it's two different women. But if these girls got together, they'd have one hell of a party or something to that effect. And do what? And handwriting? They would sit around and write.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and he's like, things
so
like,
frustrating.
Look at this space here. This is a woman that's obsessed with loneliness. What? What? This is like the bumps on your fucking head level of bullshit.
Yeah, for real.
Science.
So placated, Tom heads out for a date with patients at a parking lot carnival where a Ferris wheel predictably behaves like a parking lot Ferris wheel is going to.
The most believable thing in the script.
You're like, this is the third time this week.
I trust carnival workers.
They're good, honest people.
If anything makes you good at assembling a ride, it's meth.
Fair enough.
All right, point taken. So they both Tom and Patience have to get all heroic and save kids and stuff. Yeah.
I love that this ride doesn't just fail once. It fails like 4 times in 4 different ways. Like
the least complicated ride in the park.
Right? Yeah, first
there's something stuck in a gear, right?
Yes.
And then the gears seize and then like reverse.
And then they're just going to fly off, so the Ferris wheel's going to like fall apart, and then the kid's seatbelt thing comes off.
Yeah, the pin comes out, and then the whole carriage that he's sitting in falls off of the wheel. Like, not all the way off, just one side of it. Which, of course, the other side holds up just fine. It's totally fine, that other pin.
And then Tom fixes the mechanism by throwing a wrench into it.
It's like irony.
I think I was too busy yelling at my TV when that was happening to notice him throwing a wrench. He threw a wrench in it?
It was a big ass wrench.
Did he just like casually lob it in there? Or did he
no,
stick it in like with
some... stuck it into the spaces in the gears so they would lock up. And yeah.
He's like, thank God my years as a police detective have trained me to fix this Ferris wheel.
These amusement park rides.
He had been teaching the children at the middle school how to use Tinker Toys just the week before.
There you go.
Law and Order.
In his daytime
park unit.
His daytime gig as a 7th grade like English teacher. So that night, So wait, there's this line when they're walking away. He asks her on a date, and she says, "I can't tonight. I have business to attend to." Can you imagine if in real life at some point you asked somebody to do something, they said, "No, I got business to attend to."
Yeah.
Like what?
It'd be hard to let go.
Yeah. I'm not going to call her again. She's an asshole, man.
Right? Yeah. She's either up to something really shady or she's blowing me off in the most obvious way possible.
She's holding lots of tubes of paper and is like, I have plans.
So that night, Patience sneaks into George and Laurel's house, and Laurel tells her that George is at the big opera gala that everybody in the city they are in is going to.
With
it was actually Cirque de Boring.
Yeah, for sure.
I expected him at one point to lean over to the with the opera that was happening. I expected him to lean over and be like, "Has anyone told you the story of Doth Plagueis the Wise?"
Yeah.
So Catwoman shows up, scratches and threatens George, who denies knowing anything about killing patients or the dangers of the evil cream. The cops arrive with Tom, the detective, who's just showing up at every crime in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, his solve rate is incredibly low. Or really high. He's just that good.
Or really.
Yeah.
He's
like a
involved in all.
savant.
He's all, don't worry, I locked the classroom door. The kids are fine.
But like 24 hours.
They're all still inside.
Yeah, he's like, I'll be right back, kids.
He's like, so
There's a counterfeiting ring.
he's like, I'm really busy, guys. I have to solve this crime, then get to the carnival to fix the Ferris wheel, then back to the school before the kids.
Back to the school for the science fair.
All right. So yeah, the cops show up. Patience has to flee, but first she toys with Detective Tom for a little while. She kisses him on the cheek before making her escape.
I didn't see her kiss him. I saw her lick him twice.
With that sandpapery tongue of hers.
On the cheek. Somehow that managed to get the lipstick.
The lipstick.
She licked the kiss print onto him.
Yeah.
And no two lipstick prints are alike.
I have a really industry-specific nitpick about this scene. They're fighting on the catwalk. Wink.
Oh,
wink.
the catwalk.
And there are two mechanical lights, like gobos, like moving lights, but they are swinging like hammers across the catwalk.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Those lights do that for themselves? Like you put 4 of those on the corners of the stage and it does that, whereas having a piece of truss that swings like that is rigging rules and regulations, not to mention and noisy. That big ass aluminum thing swinging during a quiet show on a theater stage would just be like zing, zing, zing. You'd be hearing it throughout the whole
unless
theater.
it's an ancient Egyptian light.
Powered by Bast.
Yeah, exactly. Silent.
All right. So the next day, George finds out. I guess he makes a phone call and is like, "Wait, I'm selling evil cream." Shit.
Evil cream.
And then Laurel fights. He slaps her, only to discover that she's got a major case of hard face.
Yeah. So Sharon Stone suddenly revealed to have that.
Yeah. Just.
Yeah.
Well, and she plans on selling this cream. At some point, it's going to become obvious to the general public that there's a lot of fucked up shit happening with it. Like, they can only get away with it for so long.
Yeah.
All right. So, Detective Tom takes Patience out for sushi. They talk about art and Catwoman. Then they go back to her place for some PG-13 En Vogue video sex.
Cat missionary style.
This is where she eats not during the In Vogue sex, but at the restaurant she eats just this fish off of the sushi.
And she's like gobbling it up like a crazy
and he's just
person.
watching her. He's like, like, not like, oh my God, she's out of her goddamn mind.
Yeah.
Take care of the bill. I'm leaving. I'm not going to eat
nothing
this
else.
rice. What's wrong with
Nothing
you?
else. It's rude.
Yeah.
It turns out the sushi was made of fruit molded to look like raw fish.
Oh, so she could eat it quickly.
So
I don't
the
know,
only
man.
thing that wasn't cartoon animated.
I can eat raccoons that quickly. It's really, really good.
It was not. And just before he arrived, she's enchanted by the fish in the aquarium.
Oh my God. Where she's doing like flicking around with her.
The darting eyes.
Yeah, she also has the ridiculous. Before the sex scene, it would have been hilarious if she had just behaved like a cat in heat and just kept pushing her ass at you
and yowling, just like
whining and yowling. Do something.
Well.
That would have been great, right?
Oh God!
It would have been in line with what this movie was trying to say.
Yes.
Yep.
Well,
they had she rubbed a ball all over her face.
Because just before this, they were out in the street. They were about to. She was about to say something, and like it starts to rain, and she gets a drop on her face. She's, I hate rain, and I hate Mondays.
But I love lasagna.
Give me that lasagna.
Rainy days and Mondays always bring me down.
So there, in BoJack Horseman, there's a running joke that Andrew Garfield loves lasagna and hates Mondays. Anyways,
I've heard that joke with President Garfield, but Andrew.
So, her performance in this movie can only be described as spastic. Like she is just constantly like spasming from one
mania.
Yeah, manic. Just manic out of her mind. So all right. Then, they do the sex. And in the night, he discovers one of her diamond cat claws in the carpet because cats leave the toys
on
around.
It. Yeah, like it's a Lego. Not nearly as sharp as a Lego.
Now he's starting to put it together.
It's like, wait a minute. Yeah. And he leaves this. Yeah, my girlfriend who does all this weird cat stuff might be related to this Catwoman who looks exactly like her.
No, she was just raised differently. That's how they eat sushi. That's not weird.
Face to face hours before, and she was wearing the costume.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, she's not wearing like all black. It's not hiding her skin tone or like.
And he treated her like she was Alfred.
Yeah.
Yes. He could not tell.
No. Yeah.
Even if glasses were over the mask, like Alfred.
All right. So, he leaves before she wakes up. Laurel calls Patience and tells her that she has to come over right away because George is launching the evil cream the next day and she's got some proof or something.
It's coming out.
Back at the local inner city police station, they use some next level technology to match the kiss prints that Catwoman left on Tom's cheek by licking him.
It's a good thing they took some forensic photos of his lipstick smear.
Right.
On his cheek.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To match the print on the glass.
The glass that he stole from her apartment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, had there been two glasses, still wouldn't have made sense. But his face you're not going to pull a good print off of a face. Not to mention lips don't have fucking prints.
Yeah.
A little lip print. It's a good band name, though.
Lip print. Well, and again, this is just a single like inner city police precinct. They have so much forensic equipment for bullshit non-forensic purposes.
Well, they need all the help they can get. Because they are bad at solving crimes.
They obviously are, right? Because he's interacted with both of these people several times.
Yeah.
He still needs a computer I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
So then in the interior... Wait. No. Catwoman shows up at Laurel's house only to find George dead and covered in claw marks. Laurel triggers the alarm and security shows up. Then the cops. She pins the murder on Catwoman. Patience escapes, dresses up like the bride, and makes her way back home to where Tom is waiting for her.
So she steals Sharon Stone's tracksuit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That fits just great.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that. Wow.
Yeah. It's like she found him in a swamp shack.
At this point, Tom arrests her.
Detective, what a surprise. It's like, really?
Is it surprising?
None of us are surprised.
Well, I also have to just commentary on the socioeconomic situation. She calls the police, and they are at her house already.
Oh, yeah.
Already
there. They're at the entrance of her gate, just waiting.
Again, Detective Tom is first on the scene, and then he beats Catwoman back to the apartment. This dude is everywhere. The carnival, teaching kids.
I figured it out. There are
I think Tom Lone is Nightcrawler.
There are two Tom Lones.
Tom, it's actually a misnomer. Tom Lone.
The Lone Rangers.
Yeah, the Lone is just there to throw you off. It's not actually his last name.
The Lone Brothers. It's a prestige situation.
And this time he's like, don't worry, we're on our spring field trip. The kids are in the hotel. They're fine.
Yeah, one's a grade school teacher and the other one's a cop. This makes more sense than the movie did.
It's actually a TGIF sitcom. Show me the love and say.
Two
Whatever
brothers.
happened to predictability?
All right. So in the interrogation room, Patience tells Tom everything and asks him to believe her. He's torn because, yeah.
The logic she uses hurts my brain. When you first saw me, I was standing on an air conditioning unit. And what did you think? She's like, you were a lady standing on a unit. He's like, didn't you think I was crazy? Believe me. Are you pleading insanity or are you pleading something completely different? I was so confused. I didn't know what she was trying to get across to him in that moment besides, believe me.
What she was saying was when you first met me, all evidence pointed to I was a suicidal jumper, but I was actually rescuing a cat. All evidence points to me having murdered these people, but believe me, I'm not that.
I'm actually rescuing a cat.
That's a huge risk if that's your logic.
Right.
Take this leap with me, please.
Police well, I mean, he's clearly a terrible detective, so he's likely to do it.
After he has tied all of these loose threads together, she's like, well, don't believe any of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you going to trust?
He does begin to doubt that he has the right person.
He does.
Which is so weird because he has the right person. I kept rewinding this scene. I watched this like 3 times to be like, what the fuck are they trying to make me believe that he is thinking?
Right. He has Catwoman, but she did not murder those 2 people.
He's still caught up on the whole handwriting analysis.
He's like, I'll wait till she signs the receipt for dinner.
It's like, does this S match the lip prints?
Or do I just look into her eyes for a while? Nah. I'm going to get that forensic analysis guy in.
Oh, the lip print. Yeah, you'd said that she licked him but didn't kiss him. Now I understand what you mean. When I first saw the lip print in the picture, I thought that was him with a huge cut on his face. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Did that heal?
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay, so in her cell, she is visited by Midnight the Cat, and she uses her cat powers to squeeze through the world's widest jail bars.
Yeah, she didn't even squeeze. She just walked out.
Yes.
You could see one of the bars bend a little as she squeezed through. Specifically as she nudged her breast past it.
Oh no.
Yeah, those were very zoomed in on her breast and on her ass as they went past the bars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So she sneaks out of the police station, steals a car. Then
she leaps from the 5th floor window into the street and steals the car that almost ran her over.
Yeah.
It hits her in the butt.
Yeah.
I thought the hitting her in the butt thing was actually kind of funny. The superhero landing was ridiculous, but getting hit in the ass by a Jaguar is kind of funny, regardless of who it is.
And I don't mean to make this drag on further, but if they had done this DC comic character and she was Selena Kyle and that was Gotham, they could have had a moment where this Jaguar had the license plate Wayne or something like that on it. And
Alfred's
they could have
driving
just
or something.
crossed paths and she stole that car from him. Like,
yeah.
I thought that could have been done pretty cool.
Yeah.
And she steals from him. That's the first time she stole from him, kind of
That'd
thing.
be cool.
Yep.
But no, Patience Phillips' ass.
Yep. And she doesn't live in Gotham. She lives in Blotham.
Yeah, Makeup City.
Yeah.
You want to get involved in makeup? That's where you go. From the lowliest secretaries.
Just down the road from Hunger City.
Yes, Cleveland.
Really far from Suffragette City.
Yeah, for real. Oh my God. A couple decades.
Yeah. Back at Cream headquarters, Laurel is launching the bad goop stuff and Detective Tom visits her. Meanwhile, in the cream factory, Patience sabotages the trucks delivering the cream. They all are disabled, so luckily they were.
That.
It's a really long chain.
So here's the thing. Generally, when you're doing a major launch of a product, by the time you're like launching it, it's already in stores, like in their storerooms waiting to be put on the shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah, the logistics supply chain has been working for weeks at this point.
Yeah.
Not in Cream City or wherever we are.
Yeah, in between treating the water supply.
Erotic City.
Maybe they upped the launch date, and that's why they had to like hustle. That's why they had to get everything out of the warehouse by midnight.
Because they have to get it out soon before everyone realizes it's evil cream.
Yeah, before Catwoman
midnight.
Caught them.
At midnight, it turns back into, I don't know, pumpkin. A mogwai.
Pumpkin spice cream.
Yeah, pumpkin.
Oil of Olay.
So back at the launch, Tom tricks Laurel into confessing to the crimes. So she shoots him in the gut. And he's just like, you don't want to kill a cop. Like she punched him or something. Not like, oh my God, you shot me.
I'm not dead. I'm only very, very hurt.
What did she say to him? I'm a woman. I'm used to doing things that are difficult or something.
Things I don't want to do.
Yeah, I think I don't want to do.
It's like, it's so insulting because this movie like pretends to try to be like
pro-fem.
Yeah, but it's just not in any way whatsoever.
It's the way that two dudes would think.
Yeah, and I know we're four dudes talking about this, so maybe we have the wrong take. And if you're a woman and you have a different take on this, please tell us. But this is what it seems like to me.
I think this had a lot to do with us not seeing a female superhero or a superhero of color for a long time after this.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
I think they held this responsible.
They took the exact wrong lesson from it because every time they make one of these things that tanks, they blame it on the color of the hero or the gender of the hero, when the real problem is that it's a shitty fucking movie written by people who did a bad job, directed by people who did a bad job.
Indeed.
Well, and we have since seen multiple successful movies led by women and people of color.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we're going to continue seeing them because they work.
Yes.
And people pay big money to go to these movies,
well, it's like,
regardless of who's in front of them.
Yeah. Well,
I heard the troubled white guy story.
Well, there was that press release like a year or two ago after like all of the Justice League, Batman, Snyderverse stuff, where DC said their new tactic was to start making good movies. It's like, what was your plan previously?
We make bad movies. We can make a ton of money.
And her race had nothing to do with the Selena Kyle absolutely could be African American.
Oh, sure.
That would have easily been. It wouldn't even had to been something you reconcile.
Yeah.
But
they didn't say anything about her race in this movie whatsoever.
I've got to give it something for that because, but I mean, they didn't say anything about it, but she also, like it played no part whatsoever. So I've got to at least give it that.
This movie was colorblind in ways, in my opinion, that were not good. Like her hair being white lady hair the whole time, her taking care of her own hair, without any, it's just so stupidly colorblind.
It was very whitewashed.
Yeah.
In the animated Harley Quinn show that just came out on DC, their Catwoman character looked very much like Halle Berry.
Mm-hmm.
All
right. So before Laurel can kill Tom, Laurel and Tom and George.
She has a handgun. She, in any situation where a person is shooting a cop, they're going to just shoot that guy a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah.
Not just once and then continue monologuing. She already shot him.
Right.
You might as well kill him.
Right.
Yeah.
That was frustrating to me. The monologuing villain.
Laurel has things to say.
It's true. She is a woman who has been held down by her husband for a very long time. And she wants us the audience to know.
There was a scene, we passed it by earlier, but the scene where she's just like rubbing the cream all over her neck and
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's all Pennywise style.
And like a zone of her body. Like she hits like, oh, I'm just going to hit my neck today, or the right side of my neck today, the left side tomorrow. She's got like a calendar with like body parts written down on it. You can't cover your whole body in it.
No, you can't. When we first cut to that, I just turned to Jude and said, mayonnaise.
It is an instrument.
All right. So Patience gets Tom away from Laurel. They take out Laurel's thugs. Patience fights Laurel, who we learn can't feel pain or be injured because the evil cream has made her skin hard.
Like marble.
Like living marble, yeah.
Like living marble.
That's how Bruce Lee was described, which I immediately was like, oh, Bruce Lee. Weird.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Living marble.
So there's a bunch of fighting, and, Laurel's about to kill Patience until all of a sudden Patience says it's overtime.
It's overtime. What does that even mean?
Well,
she played basketball?
Laurel, the media line before that, Laurel said, it's game over.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Overtime.
And Patience says,
and then it's just the overtime.
The two lines from this movie that like were the cringiest to me were, well, how about the remix? And
right.
It's overtime. And then,
what about the White Russian without Kahlua?
That was pretty bad too.
Ugh.
But okay,
so Laurel had gotten the upper hand before the window smashing by stabbing Catwoman in the leg with a giant shard of glass, and that pointed out the imperviousness of her hands as well, because she's always got the butylene. She's always rubbing it on with her hands. Butylene. So she's got the marble hands as well, not just her face.
And Betty Davis.
And yeah.
Well, and the Elephant Man bones.
Outside bone. Outside bone.
All right, so this is the classic thing where like the hero's just getting their ass kicked until all of a sudden they're just not.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
yeah.
Reason. Yeah.
And then
which we have learned, I can do this all day is a much better way to do this. Just let them keep getting their ass kicked while they continue to try.
Yeah.
Don't have them give up and then be like, oh wait, my second wind finally came along. I wanted that Billy Joel song to play.
Right. It's a rally time.
Right. So, all right. After a bunch of fighting, Laurel falls out of a window and dies. And that's it.
So it turns out that her diamond claws can scratch up Laurel's marble face.
Because diamond beats marble. Yes. Rock beats paper. Diamond beats marble.
Diamond is rock.
Catwoman tries to save Laurel from falling, but Laurel is distracted by her own hideousness in the reflection in the glass.
Yeah.
Again, like just the fact that looking good is the only important thing to a woman.
Right. That's all that's important.
But she does cry out, "Save me" or "Help me," one of the two, just before she lets go and falls to her death.
Yes.
Yeah.
And crashes right in the middle of the big logo, which is, handy. For the crew shooting. So Tom shows up, tells Patience to be. He shows up right like after this. Like, I'm glad we didn't get here in time to help.
Walk that bullet wound off.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
He took the kids to the planetarium. That's why he was late.
My brother told me you were here. He's in the hospital with a gunshot wound. He tells Patience to be back in her cell before morning, and she'll be off the hook for the murders.
She didn't do.
Yes.
No. Oh, thanks for the suggestion, nerd.
So then we get like kind of a little mini end montage where Patience mails some letters.
Handwrite. That's her party. Ooh, if those two chicks get together.
We see Sally with her new Dr. Man toy.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Finally worked out for Sally.
Crazy cat lady gets a letter.
Yeah.
And a painting.
Oh, yes, that's right. And
I would have loved the, the shot of the high five between Midnight and Catwoman.
Yeah, Midnight didn't get a letter. What the fuck?
Yeah, they didn't close up Midnight's story.
Maybe that's where she's headed.
That's
To a foreign land.
They're gonna go on the road.
So
Just picking and grinning.
Midnight's still living with Ophelia. When Ophelia's reading the letter, Midnight's there. But then when Catwoman sexy walks off into the moonrise, Midnight is up on the rooftops with her.
Yeah, okay, I see.
Yeah.
That would have been a high five moment.
Yeah, he's chilling with her. He's prowling.
He's an ancient spirit, but this was the end game for his, transferring of power and ancient wisdom and stuff. So was Midnight at Ophelia's house watching TV and it was like, this makeup company.
yeah.
He's like the cat from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
He's like, I know what to do. It's kind of a long plan, but I know what to do.
But I don't know if the makeup company was in his plans, but Ophelia explained it earlier that Midnight was just out like wandering around, sensed Patience's doom, that she was gonna die, and then tested her by making her go out on the ledge to save him or her.
So you're not necessarily chosen, or you're arbitrarily chosen, but so they showed us a long lineage that means nothing.
They really should have made Midnight a talking cat.
Why not?
No, at that point, really, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Ophelia, I must go save a woman.
So like even though he tested her, he still came upon her by accident. So again, there's no Arthur pulling the sword from the snow situation. If he had been in another part of town, maybe some other lady who was in a bad situation.
And the evil cream would have rolled out to JCPenney's across the nation.
Oh, Midnight, your timing.
So yeah, they do. There's the final shot looked
terrible.
Yeah, the final shot looked nice, like with the full moon at least. Although the CGI tumbling was pretty bad, and then the credits roll, and that's that movie.
That was that movie.
So
yeah, all of their decisions. So it was Warner Brothers and DC. They had the rights. They had all the characters. So everything that we did not like was a choice, and I find that to be the most insulting. Sometimes they have to change things to make things fit. This was just changing things for the sake of it. I was pissed off. Even a title card that said Gotham City, and that's the only reference to it, would have helped.
Yeah. This was comparing it to like the Fantastic Four, which is was in continued hell, needed to be developed every like 5 or 6 years so that they can maintain the rights or whatever.
But it wasn't
those managed to be better than this.
Oh, yes.
And they were restricted and limited in so many different ways. Like you said, they had all the rights and the possibilities open to them. Yeah. I feel like that this was intentionally sabotaged to make movies like this not feasible, or Halle Berry's career tank or something.
Like a woman president situation where they can't do it.
The way that they treated this character, it did not need to be Gotham City.
No. And it wasn't. That's what I mean.
Right.
They didn't try to ground you anywhere. They gave you these skyline shots of a fake city.
But I mean, it could have been LA or Tokyo or Paris.
It didn't matter.
If we're doing the fashion centers of the world,
Well, and it's like, I just don't know who this movie thought it was for. It wasn't for comic book fans. It wasn't like it was like they were trying to straddle a line and make a movie for the people that were fans of like 13 going on 30 and also Batman. And there's not a lot of crossover there.
Yeah, it's like a movie that a mother could take her teenage son to or something.
And they could both be disappointed.
Yeah.
All these things are correct, right? It didn't need it could have been a Catwoman, instead of Catwoman.
Yeah.
That's basically what this
They
movie
just put the
was.
space there.
That is a Catwoman. She has this ancient power from cats. A side of her personality is a cat.
Well, what we didn't notice, it was actually
But instead
cat.
It was Catwoman.
It was actually cat, period, woman, period.
With a Ms.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Pretty bad. Pretty disappointing and angering.
Yeah, it was awful. Just fucking awful.
Insulting.
You guys,
despite how much they mangled the character, and it sounds like you guys are of a completely different mind. I thought it was kind of fun watching Halle Berry act like a cat.
Oh God, I hated every second of it.
Yeah, it made me so uncomfortable.
Made me uncomfortable, but
as attractive as she is, and as entertaining as I've seen her be in other things, I had a hard time keeping my eyes fixed on the screen.
I'm the outlier then. You know, and again, you know, I mentioned the Elseworlds earlier. I don't think they had that in mind, but it fits in with that concept. Now currently it fits in with the concept of the infinite Earths, which obviously they didn't have in mind at that time. But the Elseworlds thing, okay, there was an Elseworlds version of Batman where he was a gargoyle.
Yeah. There was one, Gotham by Gaslight, where he was, there were lots, but that wouldn't have helped this shit if we.
Well,
yeah, that wouldn't have helped.
You know, making her not Selena Kyle and not Gotham is like some of the least of its problems. It was a terribly made film. Like
absolutely. But like I said, for a comic book fan, you could have at least done a couple of these little things. It wouldn't have saved anything, just like the Elseworlds thing. But like to not do it as a choice.
Oh yeah.
They didn't explain to us why.
Yeah, so all right, you guys ready to put it on the list?
How low can we go?
Well,
I mean, want to put this at number 1.
Is one the best or the worst?
What do your cats say, Al? Let's get a cat vote on this.
They want to put it at number Meow.
Which by the way, I just thought it was. I know it's a real cat breed, but I think it's really funny that the Egyptians named cats Meow. That was their word. Like that breed of cat is
Meow.
Yeah, the Meow. Be like, what? That thing says Meow. It's the Pokemon way to name things.
It is the Pokemon way.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Do we want to look at the bottom of the list, or do we want to go a little bit up? I'll let you guys tell me.
I'm trying to bring it.
I had more fun with this than Superman 4.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Superman 4 was just brutal the whole time. This was brutal, but in a different way.
I don't know if fun qualifies for quality of movie, but
obviously not, because we discussed this, and I agree with it, but we discussed it with Van Helsing. No, it doesn't. If one person if one person has fun with the movie, it doesn't make that movie good. It doesn't make all the bad shit go away. Yeah.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I don't know. Superman 4, I feel like at least they were trying to do something, as much as they failed and as bad as it was. I don't think this was anything other than a cynical, I don't know if I want to call it a cash grab, but
something weird. Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't put this above Batman and Robin.
Oh no. No, not at all.
It is very similar though.
It was around a Batman and Robin Spawn level for me.
I think it's worse than Spawn.
I think it is worse than Spawn. Yeah, I think Spawn had a better, as bad as Spawn was, and it was very bad. I think Spawn had a more coherent story.
I laughed during Spawn at least once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
All right. I'm fine with wherever Al wants to put it. I can't find the list. I keep looking for the list.
So, it's all right.
What's below Spawn?
Below Spawn is Superman 4.
Oh wow.
and below that is Citizen Doxy, and that's it. That's the end of the list.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely in this neighborhood. So yeah, put it wherever it's with. Yeah, it's in good company.
Yeah. I don't know. So you'd like to put it above Superman 4, Al?
I would, yes.
All right.
I'll second that or third that. Meow.
All right.
Motion passes.
All right. We'll do it. I can live with that. I'm not sure I agree it's better than Superman 4, but I can't say for certain it's not. So they'll put it there. Catwoman comes in at number 52 on our big list. 52 out of 54. It was not a good movie. And next week we will be watching Blade Trinity.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yes. We'll have to, I believe, I'll have to make the arrangements. I believe we may have our sniper back. Jerry Sniper Wagner.
Yeah, might as well.
I'll ask him about that. But anyways, that will be next week, Blade Trinity. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been Throw Smiley, and I no longer have to live by the rules of society.
I'm Josh Cece, and it's time to accessorize.
I'm Brian Lesh, and guess what? It's overtime. Just kidding. This movie is awful. Thank God it's over.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I'll have 7 giant cans of tuna, please.
Coming right up.
Okay. Anyways, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Don't watch it.
Yeah.